Hello everyone and welcome to another brand new Celsius bankruptcy update. Now we have quite a few different things to go and cover as of today's video, but as well tomorrow is another big hearing, so you guys will probably be seeing another video from me then as well. So as always, for the usual like social media shill, if you guys want to go subscribe or just be aware of all that stuff, I'll be making sure to have a video up for you guys tomorrow as well. But one of the biggest things out here is that we have the list of everything that's going to be addressed in the hearing. We have some really big FTX drama, which I think should be kind of drawing a little bit more controversy and attention, and as well, we also have some more official notices in terms of like the investigation scope of what's going on in the case itself. So let's go and talk about this and go into details. Like I said, if you guys want to sub, you guys can, and let's dive on into it. So very first and foremost, we have two big things and big statements over here from the Celsius Official Committee of Unsecured Creditors. Number one is in the reminder, we'll go through this one first, of everything they're going to be covering for tomorrow at the hearing that's at 11 o'clock a.m. EST. So if you guys want to, for this one, they have just kind of a big list of going through all this type of stuff. So big thing to kind of note is the stablecoin motion. So basically this is them seeking an entry of an order to permit the sale of some stablecoins and basically using that for like funding, making sure the company keeps on running, paying salaries and all of that. We have had some objections because some people such as stablecoin holders don't want to be losing those assets. Some folks are kind of saying there should be easier ways to go and cut costs, such as not giving out big bonuses and all of that, which has also been a big drama this past week. There's a lot of different types of objections, and we'll kind of see more information on this one when it comes from the judge themselves. Now we have some other big notions too as well, mainly just a lot of big stuff. Some of the confidential information has to go through. We have the current motion too as well. So this is in regards to the debtor's key employee retention plan. And it's kind of basically giving out like bonuses and making sure people are well compensated so they have a reason to stay in a company in bankruptcy too as well. Some of these have been objected on. Some of these will also be changed or have to be kind of like debated on in court. Don't forget, at the end of the day, the judge has the final say. So just because these motions are there or objections are there does not mean that it's going to happen regardless too as well. They also did have a big thing noticing for the creditor's notion of motion and motion seeking for ruling of full title of ownership of funds with respect to users who have been blocked access by the debt prior to bankruptcy too as well. We're trying to get more information on that. A big thing to kind of note, and I think this is going to be a very intriguing one, this is also in regards to me because I have a lot of USDC. I don't think this is going to go through, but once again, the judge has the final say. This is in regards now to if USDC investors, because of the money, like the coin itself is technically backed by money in a real bank. And in theory, you could maybe argue that the USDC coin is technically a loan out to the US dollar. Like you're basically getting a one token that represents the US dollar. Now, I don't think this is going to fly in the court, but it will be actually discussed and argued upon on either side, and the judge will make the final say too as well. And this kind of goes and ties into the motion to consider stablecoin creditors as secured creditors, and as you guys know, secured creditors are above. Like I said, I don't think that's going to go through, but I'd be very curious to see. This is also in regards to other content such as like, you know, the PAX gold, which is technically backed by gold, similar format, similar style. Now, as well, there's been some other big things that like Daniel Freisberg made a statement trying to be like, hey, can we please go and cut costs and please also make statements on insider clawbacks? And we'll have a chance to see if they go bring that up too as well all throughout these meetings too on top of that. So there's a few other little various ones that we'll just have a chance to go more in depth on because I don't want to make this video too much because the scheduling doesn't matter. More so what matters is how it's actually like applied, like what the judge says and how the responses are. But there's a lot of motions that are all on the docket, and I think this will be a pretty long hearing as well. Now, this also kind of goes into a part two, which in terms of regards of the investigation with examiners. Now, we saw official statements too where they wanted to expand out the examiner's case and also do more of like a third party, neutral party, and kind of showcase up more information on what people can go and see. And I think that's good in my case, just because you want to see what equity they hold, what businesses are going, if there is fraud, etc. But White and Case is actually making a kind of objection point too as well, where they want them to not basically duplicate work. And that's kind of a big statement for this one. So they kind of still want to see like, hey, like we still like the idea of like looking more into sell tokens and fraud, which I'm going to get to in a second. I really think they should be focusing more on this potential fraud, potential insider clawbacks. And well, if these big counterparties such as FTX or Tether had a big case in this, we want them to be accountable. We want to get money from them. They might be involved in fraud. We have to know. So I'm a little bit iffy on the UCC. They do have somewhat okay reasoning depending on how you push it. More so they don't want to duplicate work. They also don't want to have like the court proceedings go longer, which are valid critiques. But I think as well, which is how intricate this bankruptcy process is, I'm kind of leaning towards having more of a proper like examiner and people kind of looking into this might be a little bit of a better deal. That's like a polarizing opinion, so give me your thoughts either on Reddit or on the YouTube comments down below. But there's just a lot of big statements saying like it might not be good to have some public statements public, and they can deal with it privately in terms of law, which I still think like I'm more of a name and shame person. So if someone broke the law or stole money for funds, we want to know where it is so we make sure the UCC is doing their job and making sure we're getting money back for the creditors. But that's just kind of my take on it as well. So we'll have a lot more information probably throughout this week, mainly because if we have court hearings, especially tomorrow, we'll have a lot more information, a lot more statements, and you can also kind of see the tone and what the judge kind of says and statements and all of that too as well. Oh, now kind of tying back to the whole examiner type thing, there was a very intriguing FTX article that came over here from Dirty Bubble. So I'm not going to go fully deep dive into this, but I'll try to give you guys the best topic points to save some time, because I could probably talk about this for a half hour if I needed to. I really should just go and join some of these Twitter spaces. But we've had a lot of big statements too on this. Number one is in regards to FTX's bid, where if you guys have also been a part of the Voyager drama, it's been like okay. Mainly because they want to push for, like, obviously the bankruptcy dollarized amount, which is what's probably going to happen with Celsius, but as well, they're trying their best to be like, hey, we're buying this assets on real market value. We don't really want to give you extra money, which in a bear market is kind of a cop-out excuse. Obviously, as a business, you need to stay in business. You can't just be throwing away pity money. Totally get that. But it is a little bit of a rough comment to see because it just shows that they're more business-focused rather than creditor-focused, too. And a lot of folks, a lot of common consumers just got really, really screwed over in this bankruptcy asset. But like I said, it's not his responsibility. But if you're trying to go buy assets on the cheap in a bear market, it's not the best. So there's actually 5 big highlight points, and we'll just kind of focus on these. That FTX was basically enabling Celsius to then buy tokens on the free market, and all those buys were then on FTX. And people want to go have more information, kind of calling out the potential fraud, and should be investigating FTX because, number one, does that mean that FTX was making a lot of money off of like fraud or potential Ponzi schemes? Now, I'm not sure exactly how that works in the court of law, but I don't think being a proper associate, because they have had private backroom deals in terms of loans, in terms of paying back loans, and also FTX is one of the biggest unsecured creditors in the Celsius bankruptcy. But don't forget, we also sent like billions of dollars to FTX right before the bankruptcy was done. So basically, FTX might have been involved then in insider trading, pump and dumping, and as well might have also screwed over creditors. But the big thing, too, is that there's also now cases of potential fraud because the Celsius coin was also apparently manipulated, then using that for these big shareholder investors, like these equity fundraising. And so those folks had that, so basically you guys can see this period coincides with the due diligence and announcement of the $750 million equity waves from WestCap and LACDPQ. So this also may have also broached up and raised the prices on, say, Celsius, and then also made the overall assets that's being held kind of hiding the hole potentially on the token. So FTX may have been involved, or may have had naked shorts, or may have also been shorting the market themselves with internal information, or has also maybe just made a lot of money off all these random market buys. Because 40 million tokens, and you're taking a cut off of that, and you're also maybe buying it with USDC, Ethereum, etc. They may also have a hold of a lot of different tokens just from this. They also then get to use the FTX to liquidate a lot of money. So if they were doing this over the counter, or as well, like through the actual exchanges, FTX probably made millions of dollars from trading fees in regards to Celsius trying to liquidate stuff on the open market the best they can. And as well, they were also using these proceeds to pay back the DeFi loans, but there was also a $104 million loan from FTX that was also discharged. So was that properly secured? Was that meant to be paid back? Was it unsecured? What were the rules on that? Because that's $104 million that might go back to creditors if it was all messed up. Same how it was with Tether if it wasn't specifically proven to be a proper legitimate loan with proper backing. As well, Celsius sent over hundreds of millions of dollars in borrowed stablecoins then through FTX, possibly using FTX as a clearinghouse then for distributing loans to their institutional borrowers. So basically, we show that Celsius loan has failed crypto hedge fund Ponzi scam as well. So basically, had issues with 3AC, have also gone through FTX. So basically, FTX is this really weird, in the middle of everything going on. And they probably know a lot of the Celsius assets and bankruptcy, so what if they were trying to crash the market, short the market then, because they knew that Celsius was insolvent, and that was going to probably go crash the market, and then they may have also known inside information on 3AC, which as well may have also crashed the market, and then they're shorting the market and making billions of dollars, and then using that same profit they just did to then buy up assets even cheaper on a bear market. it makes sense in the high level. And as well, Alameda Research is one of Celsius's largest unsecured creditors, and Celsius's largest unsecured creditor, Pharaoh's Fund, is also managed then by the co-founder of Alameda Research. As well, they also have these big ties to with Tether, and as you guys know, Tether had like $1 billion loan that got liquidated that they want to have more research in. So this is like all pretty big and valid critiques going on with this huge FTX drama, and as well with all the court documents coming out too. So give me your thoughts. This is a little bit on the speculation side, but that's why we have investigators and people looking into fraud to make sure if it's going to be true or not. So give me your thoughts and comments down below as well. If you guys would like to subscribe or just like the video or whatever, you guys are totally welcome to as well as we continue on for all this information.